Hello there, Killer Awesome Truckers. Shep is here, and we're doing Shep Reacts on my own videos. We're going to go back to when I first went out solo. So we're not going all the way back to the very beginning when I was going through training. I want to go back to, and not through my mentor, but I want to go back to when I actually went out on my own, by myself, and kind of react to the things that I had thought or said, was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Yeah, it's been a while. So, yeah, I want to go back there and just kind of make some comments from everything that I've learned since then, and then see if I can give myself a new perspective or something. I don't know. All right, so let's start the video here. Hello, truckers, drivers, and adventurers. I am the Killer Trucker. I kind of dropped that term after the first year of my vlog. And instead of just calling myself the Killer Trucker, the Killer Awesome Trucker, I decided to call you folks the Killer Awesome Truckers. Because you folks are more awesome than me, so... And at the moment, I'm not in trucking. So, yeah, I'll just, I'll just go by Shep. And you folks can be the Killer Awesome Truckers. But anyway, boy, I look a lot thinner. But you know what? I think I have the same type of gray hair. Actually, it looks like I have more hair on my head than I do now. What the heck did trucking do to me? Swear, but my hair is like all thin and everything now. Now officially, solo. And I am going to be heading out to the Swift Terminal. Oh, yeah. My truck is all loaded and ready to go, as you can kind of see back there. My hair is all nicely trimmed and my beard's nicely trimmed. In the video, not right now. I need to actually clean myself up, which actually has nothing to do with trucking. But anyway, I just kind of put some stuff kind of back there last minute. But I also brought my pedals. Do you see that? What? Oh, pedals. Oh, okay. Yeah, the for the truck simulator. Yeah. So I see that back there. Oh, and this was before I got the microwave and put it in here. I had a toaster oven. So, and I don't know what happened to that toaster oven. It disappeared. I don't know where it is. I don't know what happened to it. I was offered a load. But it was like from Phoenix to Henderson, Nevada, which... Okay, so Costco... Yeah, I wound up getting a lot of those loads going over to Las Vegas and Henderson. It takes 6 hours at 50 miles per hour, and they wanted me to get there at 7. I'm like, no, because... it's going to take me a bit just to get to the terminal. I still have to get an enforcer lock, so yeah. So my truck... See, folks, that's what we call trip planning. This is the lock that I would use to put on the trailers. This is the Kingpin lock. I've never done that. I guess it's to put it on the... No, that's right. It would be on the yeah, it's on the trailer. Yeah, so, come on, get with it now. Yeah, actually, I have used that maybe a couple of times. I haven't used it much, but I did use it a couple of times. I just contacted my driver leader, let her know that I got my enforcer lock and everything, and... Yeah, this is the first driver leader, all right? Now, I mentioned that I've had 2 driver leaders. And the second one was good, and the first one was not. Now, let me kind of go over why the first one was not. The first one would treat me as if I was a child and berate me, and it was inappropriate. I'm a brand new driver out on the road trying to figure things out, and she's treating me disrespectfully, and I didn't appreciate it, and I didn't have to deal with it. And it just got to a point where it went too far, and I demanded to get off that person's team. So, but that's not going to be in this episode. But I think you might notice that as we go, I get frustrated. So, but we'll see here. There was a load on here that was rescheduled for tomorrow, and I thought, oh, well, maybe I could just take that. But apparently they took that away from me. But yeah. Yeah, they tend to do that. Get about 5 loads and they'll take it all away. But actually, the truth is, if you let it sit there for a bit, they will just take it off, or it'll just fall off on its own. So if you don't want to have a record of rejecting loads, because apparently that's bad, just let it fall off on its own. Because hey, if you're driving, really you should not be going to your Zonar and looking at the load and, like, oh, I don't know, should I do that? Or, so technically you shouldn't have to do that. We got our first load. Well, I haven't been dispatched yet, but I accepted it. So it's Tolleson, Arizona to St. George, Utah. I actually did this Costco run to St. George, Utah, I think about 3 or 4 times. The first time was a challenge trying to get it backed into the dock, and you'll see that when we get there. But once I did it once, I knew how to do it the other times. But this was actually a very enjoyable route that I liked getting. So I always asked them, hey, do you got this load, the Costco load going out to St. George? And I would constantly ask about that. But I rather, liked it, and I was hoping to get more of those. So we'll wait for that. It's going to be 415 miles, 7 hours and 8 minutes. I can probably do all that today. I should be able to. It should be able to get at least 550 miles a day. If not, 600. Technically you can sort of get 600 in a day. It just depends upon your speed and how consistent was it, etc. I usually try to plan for 550 to somewhere around 600. That's where I try to do my trip planning. But I couldn't really figure out my trip planning until a little bit later. But we'll take a look and get an idea as far as some places that we can stop along the way. This is also before I started finding places and putting them in my Garmin. So as I started driving around and finding places that I knew I could park, I started putting them in my Garmin as favorites. And then when I came across places that always had places to park no matter what time of day, those I categorized as hidey holes. So that way, if I had to try to find something late at night, I could go to that list and say, oh, is there something close? Is one of my favorite spots close? So a recommendation that I have for you new drivers out there is get yourself a Garmin, a truck GPS, because the company one sometimes gives questionable routes. But the trucker GPS will allow you to put in favorites, and that is really going to come in handy. It looks like it's high enough for me to just bring it right on back. So let's do this. Um, by the way, when you go to hook up your trailer, before you do it, be sure you do a goal. Be sure you get out and look and make sure that the trailer is not sitting too high to where it goes over the fifth wheel plate and on the other side. That happened to me once. I managed to get it back over, but I had to do the crank of shame, although it wasn't quite the crank of shame because the trailer didn't fall, but I still had to crank the damn thing. So I had to crank it till that sucker was high, so I could get my truck back out and then lower the trailer again. So yeah, be sure that before you hook up to a trailer, get out, look, and make sure that the trailer is not too high and it's not too low. That's another thing too, because the trailer might be too low and you go to back up and it's like bam. So yeah, get out and look and double check that.
As my mentor told me, it's a 3-step process, although I have a 4th step in there, and we'll take a look at that. So step 1 is to get it connected. The release arm is in, that's good. And if we take a look, it should be all the way around.
Well, yeah, it is. So yeah, that was one of the things that I made sure of. Make sure that the kingpin is secure, locked into place. I didn't mention tug tests, but I just got into the habit. Every time that I hooked up and heard it go, snap, I would just do a tug test right there. And then I would go ahead, pull the brakes, go out, double check everything. This is the first thing that I did, and then we'll hear the other 3 steps.
We just need to go ahead and hook up the cables. All right, well, this is different. This has got a lock on it. How in the heck am I supposed to get that off?
Okay, so the locks, I know, it was just one thing after another. Here I am, I'm ready to go get this thing delivered, and there's a stupid lock on it. So at the time, I didn't know what it was. It's an air hose lock. It's to prevent people from taking the trailer. So actually, if you've got an empty trailer that you don't want someone to take, you could put a kingpin lock on, number one, and then if you had one of these locks, you could put that on it too, and it's going to be pretty damn hard for someone to hook up to that trailer and take off. So, but anyway, the yard dog would put these on here so that people weren't just taking, going in and taking trailers that aren't assigned to them or whatever. So sometimes, not all of these trailers had them. This one just apparently did.
I don't think there's any key in here. I never saw a key.
Yeah, I'm struggling to figure this one out. I mean, in the video. I already know. I'm like, what is this? I've never seen, no one ever told me about this. Swift!
The challenges continue to happen, my friends. What the heck?
Yeah. Ask me how it goes after 2 years.
I'm like, I can't hook up the cable. Step 2 is incomplete. I think you can see it. Yeah, right there. All right, step number 2 is complete.
So the
next step,
air hoses.
Step number 3 is to get the landing gear up. And we'll want to make sure it's up on both sides.
Right, so when you're cranking it, make sure it's not just one side going up, but make sure both sides are going up. And I was consistent with these steps. I would always, hook it up, make sure that, the locking jaws are in there and the little fifth wheel release thing was, in place. Hook up the air hoses, do the landing gear, and then the fourth step is the tandem. So I was consistent. I did that every single time in that order. And I'm not going to say I wouldn't forget, but there have been times where I was distracted with something, and I almost had a situation happen. So make sure that you have yourself a consistent routine, because as long as you're consistent, it becomes habit. And good habits are good. That's why they're good habits. I don't know.
The other thing is to check the tandems, which it's not exactly at the 40 foot, but
It doesn't need to be.
I think it's good enough. I don't think it's going to cause us any problems. So
No, it's an empty trailer. It's not going to cause any problems. Now, when I go get the Costco load, they tend to load that thing heavy. Sometimes they overload it where it's too heavy. But I don't need to worry about the tandems, except for, if they're all the way back, slide them forward. Maybe not all the way, but, you want to be able to get around corners, and don't make it harder on yourself. But it's... I guess I was thinking I had to put it at the 40-foot mark on an empty trailer, but no, you don't need to do that. Unless you're going into California. If you're going into California, you've got to have that thing at the 40 foot. So,
okay, so I got instructions to come all the way back here to the back where the railroad is at. And I got to open up the two doors and leave them open. And then I'm going to back it up over there.
Okay, so this is at the Costco distribution center, and it has changed. It changed quite a bit from this. This place where I'm putting in the trailer, the last time I was there, they no longer had the Swift trailers in this area. They expanded east of the distribution center, and all the Swift trailers was all in dirt now. it was all in a dirt area.
I just did my get out and look, so I'm going to try to back it right over there. I'm going to try to do it. That sounds bad.
But I did it. There's plenty of room. Remember, this is the first time I'm going out by myself. Not the first time that I was driving a truck. Just, first time out there by myself. And I'm kind of looking at that like, I got plenty of space. I got plenty of space in front. I got plenty of space on the side. I guess maybe I was thinking hey, maybe I can get it back in there in one shot. So.
Not quite the spot that I wanted to go into. But hey,
Okay. So, this was before I understood the tandems and how they worked. I was always doing this thinking, it's like, okay, you drive, 1.5 trailers, past it, and then you make a 90-degree right, and then a 90-degree left, and you do this S-shaped thing, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, how come I'm not able to get that trailer exactly where I want it? I also didn't understand the concept of driving your trailer, and basically eventually I learned that watch the wheels and steer the truck so that way those wheels are going where you want it to go. And so it sounds simple, but it just wasn't connecting until later. But the other thing too is I had an international truck, and the turning radius of an international truck is freaking dog crap. Things were much easier for me when I got a Freightliner. When I got a Freightliner, it was a lot easier because it had a much better turning radius than an International truck.
Doing a few get out and looks here. I want to see how much further I need to take this back. Okay, that's hanging.
No, man, just push it all the way back. Well, hey, look at the trailer right there. That other one's all the way back. So I guess I wasn't quite sure how far, but hey, at least I got out and looked, right?
Over there, so I've got quite a ways I can go back, and I might be able to line up with this one right next to me, and I should be okay.
Yeah, just look at the other trailers and use that as a guide. So, you know, do your get out and look, see how the other trailer is situated, and then just back it in and look at your mirrors. And once you're, you know, somewhat lined up with the trailer that you're next to or something, then, you know, you'll be fine.
I'd say based on this, maybe about 4 more feet.
So here I am trying to figure things out. I'm like, well, let's see. I don't want to push it too far back and go over the thing. And, you know, I'm counting how many feet there are and then looking at the door, you know, the driver door, and trying to think, okay, where's the mark going to be? So I'm trying to, I was overthinking it, really. But as I started going, I didn't have to overthink it so much.
I remember one of the instructors was saying it's like, you know, 1/1000 for every 1 foot or something like that.
Like I said, I'm overthinking it. I'm like, okay, I got 3 feet to go, so that equates to 3 seconds. So, you know, you're backing up. You're like 1/1000, 2/1000, 3. Yeah. So, as I said, I got better and I didn't have to overthink it so much.
Found an interesting problem. See how that blinks there? This side's not blinking. Watch this.
Okay, so something that I learned, yes, the blinker, there could be something wrong with it, but I've also learned that sometimes it's just the cable. So if you disconnect the electrical cable and reconnect it, sometimes that's all it takes, and it'll work just fine.
I unplugged and replugged the electrical cable in, and now I'm just using the left turn signal specifically. So I'm not doing the regular light testing. I'm manually doing it, and it does appear to be working.
Okay, there we go.
That does over here.
So hey, at least I figured that out on the first solo run.
Yes, brand new lock, first load ever. Yeah.
That lock got so beat up. I think I still have it, but holy crap, that lock got beat up. And I remember exactly where it got beat up, and it just kind of started to fall apart. But I'll tell you what, that thing was getting a beating, and it was still ticking. It was still going.
There it is. Yes.
Yeah, I wish it was that simple on all the trailers, but some of you Swift folks know that the Enforcer lock brackets there are sometimes they're bent in odd directions, and it doesn't match up, and all kinds of good things.
I made it here to this Petro. My Garmin was really nice. I just kind of like scrolled through it and said, find me a truck stop. As okay, here's a Petro. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go there.
Yep, and I know exactly which Petro that I'm at. I've stopped at this Petro many times. Let me show you where it is on a map. So as you can see here, just along I-40, there's quite a bit of parking spots here, and then there are make-it spots, make-it spots that are out in the dirt. Now I'm okay with make-it spots as long as, you know, they are out of the way, especially if they're, you know, at a truck stop and they're obviously make-it spots. You know, they're out there in the dirt. There's not going to be any paved markings or anything like that. So, you know, you kind of have to be creative when you're out there. The make-it spots that I hate that people are doing is when they're parked outside of the lines, parked behind trucks, in front of trucks, at the entrance, at the exit, and making it really hard for people to get around. Those are the ones that I hate. But if the spots are out in the dirt, all right, you know, that I, you know, obviously I think that's acceptable.
This thing was not easy to try to back up. You know, it's like you try to back it up and it's like, and, you know, it shakes and everything. I'm like, oh, great.
Oh, and I thought Freightliners were bad, but no. Oh my goodness, the International. When it's a heavy load and you're trying to back it up, oh yeah, that thing is crazy nuts. But you know what? A Freightliner, Freight Shaker does the same thing.
Sad little 10 speed semi is having a little bit of trouble, but that's okay. Chiana.
Oh, that's right. I called the truck Chiana. I didn't give a name to my second truck. By that time, I'm just kind of like, yeah, all right.
Chiana and I, we're buds. We're buds. We're part of...
No, we wound up hating each other. It was an abusive relationship. We did not like it. We did not like each other. Memories.
You can see there's a lot of drivers that just kind of parked, wherever, you know. That was all empty, though. There wasn't all these drivers there.
Yep, so there's the make-it spots. So there's no lines or anything, so you just got to kind of get a little creative. And usually once you have 2 or 3 trucks, everyone else just kind of lines up next to them. I don't remember if I did or not, but yeah, there's the refrigerator section. This is the freezer section. You know, that thing worked great until it didn't. I enjoyed being out like 2 to 3 months at a time, and I would fill. It turned out that I had it separate here, but then I actually opened the whole thing up and just made the whole thing cold, and I would fill it up with frozen meals. I would get like maybe 7 or 10 of them. I would take them out of the boxes. I was able to stack them in there real good. I loved that thing. And then eventually the compressor or whatever it is that gets it to cool just was not working. It was getting less and less cooler until the point where it just didn't work. So it's unfortunate. I still have it, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix it, if I can just fix it on my own. I'd like to. One of the reasons why I'm doing these reaction videos is it's kind of, I've mentioned that 2025 is kind of like a kind of preparation year for maybe getting back into trucking, and that may be as a as a lease operator. But going back through these videos kind of reminds me what it was that I was kind of going through when I was out on the road and stuff. And the other reason why I bought it was because this truck did not have a refrigerator, so I had to buy my own. That was a reason why I had bought this, is because the truck did not have a refrigerator.
Number one, The appointment is 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. or 1800 hours in St. George, Utah. So that's Utah time. Let's see. I think Arizona and Nevada are on the same time zone for the moment. And then it switches again here in another month, or whenever daylight savings time.
Yeah, as I was saying, I was thinking way too much at the time in regards to trip planning, and I just learned on my own that the best way to do the trip planning is just figure out where are you and how much driving do you want to get done for that day. Are you going to do just 500 miles? Are you going to push for 600 miles? What's your game plan? And then find spots that you can park at, so that way you know where you're going to go to before you get there. I'm close to Kingman, Arizona at this point, and I'm overthinking it because St. George is not that far from Kingman to where I have to think about it that much. But I think I was just kind of going over this so that way I could explain my thought process, but I probably lost like 80% of the viewers at this point.
Now there is a truck stop or a scheduled fuel stop in St. George that we can just go there, fill up, and go park, and we can wait it out.
Oh yeah, and that's the Flying J in St. George. I do not like that Flying J. The parking is kind of crap. If you manage to get there early, you can get yourself a good spot. I can't imagine what it is like now, because the parking situations have just gotten absolutely worse since I first started. You got people that are just parking everywhere now. They don't care if they block you in or not. So I'd almost be afraid of going to that truck stop.
Maybe leaving at 9 a.m. here /10 Utah. Maybe we should push back an hour. Maybe we should leave at 11. Because in 11...
I forgot that I put that on the screen. I'm like hearing myself just babble on, and there it is. Confused yet?
I'm already getting like new load information and stuff. Are they sending me back to Arizona? I don't know what they're doing. I just got a message. But 2 hours is not too bad.
Hey, at least they're stacking me. But I've said this before. During my first 6 months with Swift, I was on a $1,000 a week minimum guarantee pay. So Swift wanted to make sure they got their money's worth, and so they made sure I was stacked. They made sure that I had a pre-plan ready to go when I left. After that 6 months and later it got, of course, freight was getting really bad in 2022 and 2023. Just was getting really, really worse, and they were starting to cap miles per week and everything. So yeah, these first 6 months I ran, and I know I had some comments in some of the videos that I put out and said, well, you just need to run. I did run. I ran for the first 6 months because they kept me running. They wanted their money's worth. But when it got to the point later on where I wanted to run, I couldn't get the loads. So it's hard to make the money when you're not getting the loads. And when you're contacting them saying, hey, I'd like to get going, we don't have anything, what are you supposed to do? There's nothing you can do. So this is kind of like why I was thinking about doing the lease operator program with Swift, is because they have a more established load board now than what they. When I was going through this, they didn't even have one. But it's pretty well grounded now, from what I understand and from what I've seen from someone's video, and it's just getting better. So, as a owner-operator, you can work with your representative / driver leader, and they can get you loads. But if they can't get anything in your area, you can go to the load board and see what's there, because they don't have access to see that, and you don't have access to see what the driver leader is seeing. So it's nice to have those two options. Now, how does it work in practice? I don't know. We're not going to know that until if and when I actually do this lease operator stuff.
Nothing's going to be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes here and there, but that's why I'm doing this video series, so you folks can all learn from the things that I do, whether they're right or whether they're wrong.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, I did this series for a couple of reasons. One, no one else had done a series like this at all. They would do a video here and there, but no one actually did a series of videos that documented, not necessarily every single day, but yeah, mine did document every single day, but each video was not each day. I organize these videos by load, and I call them missions. So, like, this one is mission 15, so this is the 15th load that I've taken. Most like loads 2 through 14 were with my mentor, and then load 1 was the flatbed, which that's a whole story on its own. But I'm not interested in going over that. I'm more interested in when I was out as a solo driver and my thought processes and stuff at the time. But yeah, I was doing it because no one else had done it, and so I wanted to do it for new drivers, give new drivers a series of videos that they can watch that I couldn't find myself. But it was also kind of a documentary, not a documentary, but documentation, that's what I'm looking for, or a vlog that I can go back to and I can refer to, so I can go back and look at what it was that I was doing or thinking, and then say, oh, okay, so yeah, I could have done that better if I had done this. And again, if I do this lease operator thing with Swift, I'm going to do it the same exact way. I'm going to document every single load. You're going to see every single load. You're going to see at the end of the week, when I get the settlements, the statements, as far as what the expenses were, what the income was, and how much money I wound up with. Because no one's doing it. They might do it here and there, but they're not doing it on a consistent basis. So if you really wanted to know if is lease operator going to work or not, you can't really determine that. You can't determine that from one video when someone sits there in their truck and just like, yeah, it's just not working, I'm going to turn the truck in and blah, blah, blah. Which I'm sure it's all true, but you don't see any supporting video or do you know what I'm saying? They don't have anything to help support what it is that they're saying. If I'm showing me going to the load board and going through and saying, oh, hey, why don't we take this load? Or, I'm saying, okay, I got a load from the driver leader, knowing all the ins and outs. So that is going to be good for me to document for myself, but it's also going to be good for you folks who are just wondering, I wonder what it's going to be like. So that was a bit of a mouthful, but I just kind of wanted to comment on that since I had just talked about it in the video here.
I've also got my Bluetooth headset hooked up. It doesn't charge unless I have the key turned in all the way.
I lost that Bluetooth headset. I have no idea where it went. It came in that bag, that orientation bag that I got. It wasn't an orientation bag, but it was, I don't know. I paid for it. I've got a review of it, and so I'll put a link to the review up on the screen. So you can, I'm sure things might have changed by then, but I thought it was worth it because it had everything that you needed inside that bag.
All right, we are here in St. George, Utah. This is my required fuel stop. I pulled up a little too far. I managed to get fuel in, but I couldn't get the DEF in. So I was trying to cancel out of it. It wouldn't work. So I backed up, checked, make sure there was no one back there. But I backed up just enough. Then I went to go to the line, and then it stopped. Then I couldn't put any DEF in.
Okay, so because of this one experience, I started doing my fuel differently. So what I would do is I would take the nozzle and put it in on one side, and I would have it clicked and everything ready to go. I would go in, then I would get it started, and then I would go to the other side of the truck, start and get that one filled up. Once they were done, I would put one of the hoses away, and then when I came back, I would pull the other nozzle out, but I would hold on to it and put the cap on and stuff. I didn't put the final nozzle back into the pump until I was ready to put the DEF in. So then that way I wasn't running out of time. So this one experience here got me to change my ways really quickly.
I think there's going to be enough DEF to get me where I need to go. So yeah, I'm going to go into the Pilot and check out a few things. And
okay, so it's a Pilot, not a Flying J. But let's pull that Pilot up here on the screen so that you can see. And you know what? Actually, this same truck stop is actually in American Truck Simulator in St. George. So it's kind of funny, but it is there. The area of this truck stop is just, it's a little cramped. It's not as bad as some places that I've been, but they've got this scale that does not give you a whole lot of room in front of your truck to be able to set up. And keep in mind, I've got this international truck that has a horrible turning radius, so I'm not able to turn it as sharply as I'd like to.
if you have any Costco loads, you're going to have to get one of these delivery receipts because they won't give you an invoice. But
yeah, and get plenty of them. Make sure you get yourself several, because Costco does, you don't get any paperwork. You're going to have to fill it out manually, and then they'll give you a sticker. Just put the sticker on the back of the sheet, and make sure that they sign it and everything.
As I started doing my trip planning, as far as, okay, where should I be shutting down? Because I got to shut down for 10 hours regardless, no matter where.
So, yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. I didn't really need to do it on shorter loads that I could do within one day. But on loads that I knew that was going to take more than one day, or let's say I already got planned on the next load. Once I have some downtime, I start figuring, okay, like I need to shut down at this time, I need to wake and get going at this time, et cetera, et cetera. So I would figure all that out.
Then I think what I'm planning to do is shut down there at Rupa Valley, which is good because I can use the shower and everything. And then,
oh boy, yeah, wait till we get to that one. Harupa Valley. Oh, things I could say about Harupa Valley. That'll be on another video.
So we are here. That's not me. That's another Swift truck. There's one place for me to load in, so it looks like I'll be able to pull in.
Okay, do you see all those cars that are going by? Let me show you the Costco up on a map. Okay, so this is the Costco here. Now you've got to go in from this direction, and it seems like there are cars all the time that are going through this way, and none of them care about truck drivers. You're in their way as far as they're concerned, and you've got to make use of space in order to get back into the dock. And it's a little tricky with how it's angled and set up, but once you've done it once, you'll know exactly what to do. It's not too bad. So yeah, from where I'm sitting here in this truck, you basically what I do is I kind of pull up and I hard left to try, to start getting my trailer, bent, and then make a hard right, so that way I can start making use of this space over here where that yellow vehicle is, and this here, so I can start making use of that space to kind of straighten out and back in there, and pull straight and then back in straight, so that'll be good. It was interesting when I was getting off the freeway. I stopped because it not only did the light turn red, but it was a red arrow. But there were people in the lane next to me that were turning right anyway. Can anyone explain that to me? What is it with Utah? It seems like the only place that I've noticed it is there will be a red arrow, and they're turning on the red arrow. Now, as far as I understand, if it's red, you don't turn, even if it's a right turn. I mean, if there was a green arrow and then it was blank after that, that would be different. But red means red, especially if it's an arrow, you don't turn. So I don't know. In regards to Utah, it seems like I only saw it in Utah.
Not supposed to do that if it's a red arrow, as far as I know. Maybe Utah's different. I gotta tell you, people here in St. George were rude. So I had to come in from that direction right there and then pull up and then back in. And that's, you can see my truck sitting there back then. There were cars coming from over there, and they were trying, zipping around me. And then cars that were over this direction here coming this way and going around me.
Yeah, that's not the only way in or out of the Costco. I don't know why they have to take that particular street. That just annoyed me to no end. But you get used to it.
Gotta be another way out, for crying out loud. But yeah, I mean, they're like, see, and then cars from this direction. And so here I am. I'm trying to move forward, get myself angled so I can go back into that dock there, and everyone's being a dick. I was having problems with this. This chain was barely getting on there. I had to put it in.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Some of these Swift trailers, holy crap. I guess the doors, they get beat up or something, but some of these, the chains don't reach. Some of them don't have chains. They have coat hangers and wires and all kinds of stuff. It's really ridiculous. And this is just the beginning. Okay, so there we go. That was the video of my first solo run. We didn't play the whole video because the whole video is actually an hour and 7 minutes. And, you know, commenting and stuff, that makes the video even longer. So I'm only going over the stuff that I thought was important to do reactions on. But if you want to see the full original video that this is based on, then there is a link in the description, and also towards the end here I'll have a thumbnail up for it. But anyways, if you liked this, don't forget to click that like button, because if I see that this is blowing up with a lot of likes, then I know that your folks are surprised liking it, and I'll know that, you know, I should kind of keep going with this. And leave me some comments too. I love to get your feedback in regards to this reaction series. Well, thanks for watching. We will see you on another video. There's a lot of them. Have a killer awesome day.